Okay, The Flash, Savage Velocity. I've been looking forward to this trade for a long time. This is the first 18 issues and the first annual from the Wally West series. The majority of it is written by Mike Baron, and a few issues here by William Messner-Loebs, with Jackson Guice on art. And basically it chronicles the first year or so of Wally West being the Flash. This is after the Crisis on Infinite Earths, where Barry Allen died and Wally West took over the Flash mantle after being Kid Flash for many, many years. And this was my introduction to Wally. When I was first reading comics back in the early '80s or mid '80s, I guess. Barry Allen was the Flash, and then I picked up issue number 4 of this series and got introduced to Wally, and that's still one of my favorite comics ever. But again, it is a fresh new take on the character. Like Barry Allen, originally as the Flash, he could run at light speed, and then he had all these amazing powers. He could vibrate through walls. And after the events on Crisis on Infinite Earths, Wally lost his speed. Well, I think he lost it before that, actually, but Wally's speed is around the speed of sound at this point, and he has to eat and sleep a lot to compensate for his metabolism. So he does, his powers have been reduced as the Flash in terms of what Barry used to have. But this does set up a new status quo, I guess, if you want to call it that, for the Flash. One of my favorite villains is in here that Mike Baron created, called I'm going to try to pronounce it, but I don't know if anyone's ever pronounced it right. The Kilgore. I'm not sure. They put him in the comics, or they put him in the TV show, but he was much different. He was a human in that, and he's an alien from another dimension, I guess, who has control over everything mechanical. But these are some of my favorite Flash stories, especially issues 3 and 4. Because that was, like I said, my introduction mainly to the Flash. You also get some other new villains as well. You get the Speed Demon, and you get the Blue Trinity. This is the Flash annual here. This is the Speed Demon, or aka Speed McGee. Now this was originally, this title started back in 1987. And it wasn't, I can't say it wasn't popular, because it did sell well at first, but people were disappointed that Wally wasn't Barry, because Barry had been in the Flash for so long, and this is where the Wally West versus Barry Allen fight started in the letter columns of the series, basically before there was even an internet to worry about. And I don't think it was until probably Mark Waid took over that Wally really became known as, the Flash, because of the stories where, how can I say this? Not that they were, I guess they were a bit better written, but they were also more classic in terms of the way the stories are told. Wally here he's kind of a jerk, to be honest. In the first year or so of this title, he's sleeping with a married woman. He wins the lottery at one point and then loses it all. He has, I was going to say father issues, but it's more like uncle issues. I guess he's always focusing on what Barry would have done. The Chunk gets introduced here, which is a classic Flash. Well, he was a foe and then he became a friend. As much as I love having it, there is a bit of almost like gutter loss between the pages here, and if you look at the binding on the book. But overall, it's a fun read, and it's great to finally have this and collect it, because it is for me, it's an important part of Flash history and an important part of Wally West's history, being a big Wally fan. And about 13 or 14 issues in, for most of the run, Vandal Savage was the main villain, or the recurring villain for the series for Wally. And at one point, Wally actually loses his speed, loses his girlfriend, loses all his money, as I said, and then, issue number 14 was Mike Baron's last. He only did 14 issues, and then issue 15, The book was taken over by William Messner-Loebs, who, I love this shot here too as well, who had to dig Wally out of a hole, basically. So this is William Loebs, or Bill Loebs' first issue, issue 15. And Craig LaRock becomes the new penciler. I'm trying to see. Greg LaRock would stay with the title even after Bill Loebs left. Hitting bottom, there you go. And became probably the Flash artist for the 80s and 90s, at least in my opinion. And so this whole thing is basically giving Wally everything he could want and then taking it away, and then him trying to get it back again. The Adventures of Speed McGee finishes out the volume here. I think it's 4 issues of William Messner-Loebs' run. But yeah, it's fantastic to finally have this, because, like I said, I've got all the I have all the issues in single form, all the single issues. But it's nice to have them in trade to go on my shelf as well, in the bookshelf here. And it's a thick volume, man. Look at this. It's kind of huge, to be honest, for what I was expecting. Retail price on this, $39.99 USA, $53.99 Canada, if you can see that. And I don't know how many pages this is, to be honest. But it's a good chunk of story here. So if you're looking to get some background information on Wally West to see how his adventure started, this is a great read. Fantastic art. And like I said, you might be surprised at some of Wally's behavior there, because he is young and immature at this point. He's, like I said, he's kind of a jerk. And eventually it's Bill Loebs and then later Mark Waid come along to make him more mature, give him a steady relationship, and at some point he gets kids and all that stuff. So this is way before he becomes a mass murderer in Heroes in Crisis and all the other stuff that followed along after. But yeah, great read. I'm really happy that they put this in trade finally, and hopefully we can get a couple more trades of the William Messner-Loebs era. I think they could probably do it in maybe 2 volumes, possibly 3 for Messner-Loebs. But I hope they do that eventually. But yeah, pick it up. The Flash, Savage Velocity. Sorry about the lighting again. Very cool. Thanks for watching.